Welcome back to High Stakes. Today, we will be discussing the following NCAAF matches that is happening on Saturday, October 14th, 2023. We will be providing our team, total, and prop picks for the day. Before we get started, please remember to subscribe to our channel and turn on notifications so you don't miss any of our videos. If you want access to our premium picks, you can check out our Patreon page. You can find the link to our Patreon page in the description and comment section below. Kent State versus Eastern Michigan. The Eagles have split their last 4 games, but their recent success includes 3 consecutive wins at home. Despite having one of the nation's weakest offenses, scoring below 20 points per game, they struggle to efficiently move the ball and rank near the bottom nationally in both passing and rushing. On the defensive side, the Golden Flashes face challenges in stopping the run but have shown improvement in recent games, holding their last 3 opponents to under 130 yards per game. Given the Eagles' limited passing game with less than 150 yards per game, anticipate offensive struggles for them once again. The Golden Flashes, on the other hand, have experienced a downturn with 5 losses in their last 6 games, scoring less than 15 points per game. Despite their offensive struggles, they've been somewhat more effective in moving the ball through the air and on the ground. Facing an Eastern Michigan team allowing over 200 rushing yards per game, the Golden Flashes have an opportunity. Despite not securing a road victory this season, both teams appear evenly matched for the first time this season. Expect a competitive game, and with these factors in mind, lean towards Kent State covering the spread. The Golden Flashes are averaging 13.3 points per game and 7.33 points per game on the road. They averaged 28.3 points per game in their last 3 games against the Eagles. With Eastern Michigan giving up 20 points per game at home, the Golden Flashes will go over their average in this game. The Eagles are averaging 17.5 points per game and 26 points per game at home. They averaged 26.6 points per game in their last 3 games against the Golden Flashes. With Kent State giving up 45.6 points per game on the road, the Eagles will score enough points to push the score over the total. Take the over. Next we have Iowa State versus Cincinnati. Cincinnati, the new entrant in the Big 12, has yet to secure a victory in their recent conference matchups, suffering losses to Oklahoma 20-6 and BYU 35-27. Now, the proposition of giving up 5.5 points against an ascending Iowa State team doesn't seem favorable to me. I prefer taking the points with the Cyclones this Saturday. Under the guidance of Matt Campbell, Iowa State's freshman quarterback, Rocco Becht, is showing promising development. I anticipate Becht continuing to progress in this game. Campbell's strategy often involves establishing a strong running game to alleviate the pressure on his young quarterback. The upcoming matchup promises an engaging battle, with both teams boasting strengths in their offensive and defensive lines. Ultimately, my hesitation to lay this many points stems from the confidence I place in an established coach like Campbell. This game has all the makings of an under game, which makes the 5.5 points we have even more valuable. The current iterations of these football programs believe in playing strong defense first. That has shown up on the stat sheet as Iowa State is allowing just 24.2 points per game, 47th, while Cincinnati is at 26.8, 62nd. I anticipate this game turning into a rock fight. Look for a lot of running, which will keep the clock churning in our favor. From a trends perspective, the under has cashed in 11 of Iowa State's last 14 games. A 24-21 final score will cash our ticket at this number, but I'm thinking it won't even come that close. Give me the under in Cincinnati on Saturday. Next we have Indiana versus Michigan. Given the relatively low total, it's challenging to endorse such a substantial point spread. However, the track record of the Wolverines' defense tells a compelling story. They don't concede easy points. Michigan's defense, allowing less than a touchdown per game, combined with the Hoosiers' struggles in the red zone, makes it difficult to envision Indiana reaching the end zone easily. Conversely, on the defensive side, Indiana has faced challenges in preventing opponents from scoring inside the 20-yard line, and they are up against one of the nation's top teams in terms of yards gained per play. Anticipate the Wolverines handling the situation convincingly, so laying the number seems like the prudent choice. As mentioned, the path to offensive success is dim for the Hoosiers. At home, the Wolverines are allowing less than 6 points per game. Not only will they be thrusting a backup quarterback into the fold, but their low completion rate and third down success will make it difficult for them to move the ball. The Wolverines are apt to enforce their will on the ground, and they should find success here early and often, giving them little reason to abandon the run and keeping the clock rolling, which will keep this total under the number. Next, we have Michigan State versus Rutgers. Michigan State enters Saturday's game following a bye week, a much-needed respite amid a challenging season marked by 3 consecutive losses and the dismissal of their head coach. The Spartans' offensive struggles are evident, to the extent that they have yet to announce their starting quarterback, a factor that doesn't instill confidence, especially for an away game in the competitive Big Ten. Rutgers' formidable defense is poised to exploit any quarterback uncertainties for Michigan State. Boasting the 10th best passing defense in the nation, the Scarlet Knights have proven difficult for opponents to navigate. While their offense faced challenges against Wisconsin, it has demonstrated improved performance at home. With a 5-0-1 record against the spread this season, Rutgers appears poised for another victory, further enhancing their impressive track record. Opt for Rutgers to cover. The best attribute of each team is their defense. The offense has struggled all season long for both squads. Michigan State is averaging around 10 points per game over their last 3 contests. Maybe the bye will help, but not likely. Rutgers has averaged less than 15 points per game in their 3 Big Ten matchups. This will easily be a low-scoring slugfest. The under is a combined 7-3 between the two teams, and I think that hits once again on Saturday. Take the under on Saturday. Next, we have Georgia Southern versus James Madison. In a closely contested matchup on both offensive and defensive fronts, the James Madison Dukes hold a slight advantage, particularly with the benefit of playing at home and coming off a bye week. Despite Georgia Southern showcasing a formidable passing game, averaging 337 yards, the Dukes' well-rounded offensive approach and robust run defense, permitting only 38.6 rushing yards per game, position them as a formidable adversary. Their solid home performance adds an additional challenge for the Eagles. Considering these factors, anticipate James Madison not only securing a victory but also covering the 5.5-point spread. Both the Georgia Southern Eagles and the James Madison Dukes have offenses that can light up the scoreboard. The Eagles average a total of 471.6 yards per game, while the Dukes are not far behind with 402 yards. On the defensive side, both teams have shown vulnerabilities, with the Eagles allowing 360.4 yards and the Dukes allowing 350 yards per game. Given these stats and the absence of key defensive players for the Dukes, this game is poised to be a high-scoring affair. Expect the total points to go over the line, making this an over bet for those looking to wager. Next, we have Ohio State versus Purdue. Despite maintaining an unblemished record this season, the Buckeyes have only covered the spread twice in 5 attempts and are 0-2 against the spread when playing away from their home turf. Their struggles extend to the previous 5 road games against the spread, dating back to the last season, and they managed to cover only once in 4 road games during the 2022 season. In contrast, Purdue secured a cover in their recent home game against the Illinois Fighting Illini 2 weeks ago. The Boilermakers' defense displayed resilience against the formidable Hawkeyes in Iowa last week, keeping the game competitive and offering a chance to win in the final drive. Purdue's defense has been impressive, limiting opponents to 20 or fewer points in 2 of their last 3 games and holding the Hawkeyes to under 300 total yards last week. While the Ohio State offense excels with an impressive 50-point average per game at home, their performance drops significantly to a 20-point average on the road. Although the Buckeyes are likely to leave Indiana with their perfect season intact, the tenacity of the Purdue defense should keep the Boilermakers competitive throughout the matchup. Consider taking Purdue with the points. The Buckeyes have gone under the point total in 4 of their 5 games of 2023, and they have gone under in both of their road games. They have gone under the point total in 3 of their previous 4 games away from their home stadium dating back to last season. The Ohio State defense has limited their opponents to an average of just over 8 points per game on the road this year, including a 17-14 win in Notre Dame 2 weeks back. Ohio State has not allowed more than 17 points to their opponents in any game this season. They rank in the top 50 among their peers in both average points allowed per game and average yards allowed per game. Purdue has gone under the point total in 3 of their last 5 games overall. Their defense limited their opponent to 20 or less points in 2 of their last 3 games and held the Hawkeyes to under 300 total yards last week. Look for both defenses to limit the opposing team's offensive potential throughout the game. Most signs point to a lower scoring affair in Indiana on Saturday. Thank you for tuning into this video. Kindly consider subscribing to our channel and activating notifications to stay updated on all our future content. For exclusive access to our premium picks, feel free to explore our Patreon page. The link to our Patreon page is available in both the video description and the comments section below. Your support is greatly appreciated.